So I think last week we did a lot of we did like 5 different things, 6 different things.
Mm.
Um, did did you get a chance to work on any of those things? Did any of those things transition to your gameplay throughout the week? Like, did you see any improvements yourself?
So like I try to play how should I put it? Like playing in the basketball court where like you space yourself out compared to your opponents. And I
Mm-hmm.
tried to do that, but I would get opened up very easily. So I'm having a little difficulties going through that. Um,
Okay. What do you mean by like you're having difficulty? In
so
what
like
sense?
if I'm just spacing out my opponents,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I wouldn't be able to react once they like dash up. Or
Mm-hmm.
let's say that like I try to react and I press a button, I get crush countered or I get countered hit.
Ah, yes.
So it is a little difficult, and I've been going back to like what I was doing, and
Mm-hmm.
it has helped me like on the offensive side. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know if I'm like doing the spacing right. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's just my reactions or that I I'm just not used to it.
No, it's okay.
Hmm.
It's more of like in your muscle memory. It's not there yet. I know you mentioned that you want to work on your reactions.
Hmm.
And so part of reactions is also prediction. And so when you play in those spots a lot more, you'll get used to what to expect. So you'll be ready to to stuff their dash with a jab, or to catch them low, or to catch them jump in. So you're still learning that spot. I'm assuming it's like low forward range, ish, or
I
is it
guess
like
yeah,
oh.
because I know like my jab won't reach far enough,
Mm-hmm.
so I would at least try to do crouching medium punch or
Mm-hmm.
standing leg kick.
Yeah, that's perfect. So those are things that yeah, those are perfect tools to catch that space right in front of you. But like I said, as when you start getting more used to it, you'll start reacting more and getting more, like having more predictions in terms of what the opponent will want to do.
Hmm.
And it'll be like, it won't be like you have to think about it. It'll be second nature. You will just like, okay, this guy's gonna dash right here, or she's gonna jump in right here. So you'll be used to it. It just takes a lot of time.
Sure.
And I'm assuming that these are the spots that you haven't worked on before. Am I correct?
Which one?
Just like standing in front of them and kind of like playing footsies and walking them down.
I have kind of like just walked him down into the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and I would try, of course, like try to react with doing a standing leg kick if they dash up and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I'm still working on it, and I am seeing like a little bit of progress. But I would also like to capitalize myself, pushing them into the corner, and I guess making them panic just because it's Laura.
Yeah. So and this is where your strategy from last week would be actually stronger too, because the fact that you're occupying that space, your dashes and your jumps become more threatening because they are trying to react to you, because you're just standing there or you're forcing a wall towards them. Does that make sense? You're
Hmm.
kind of like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Now it's your turn to put the offense on. So that's where this is where your offense is gonna excel. Because I know you just said that when you go offensive, you feel good, right? You feel good. You're attacking. But when you're kind of like waiting and playing a little bit more defensive, you're like, oh shoot, I'm not really sure yet.
Hmm.
But once that gets more well-rounded, you'll combine that with your offense, and it'll be like super well-rounded. So
Okay.
okay, you want to go ahead and get started with the first of five and see
Sure.
what's gonna go on.
Let's do this. Akuma. Yomi ni Round one. Fight.
shoot.
Final round. Fight. You lose. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Final round. Fight.
Nice catch.
I was really scared of the wake up DP into V
Oh,
trigger.
no. It's good that you committed to it because like you want to learn to just commit to certain things in this
Yeah.
game, especially. Just like, oh, I'm scared, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Mhm.
So that's good.
Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight.
Damn it, that sucked.
Final round. Fight.
Oh my god, I try to stay really calm in that situation.
You win.
That was really good. That was really good.
Round one. Fight. KO. Round two. Fight.
Oh, good spacing.
Final round. Fight.
Oh shoot. I tried to dash under.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh fuck.
I think you would have got under too, huh?
Hmm.
Round one. Fight.
Shoot.
You lose. Round one. Fight.
That was a nice anti-air.
Round two. Fight.
Damn, I thought
Man.
you pressed the button. I was like, I'm gonna DP right here.
That little scramble, I was like, see ya, Finn, no, please.
Round one. Fight.
Oh, that was so good.
Round two. Fight.
Oh, fuck. Shoot.
You lose.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. What'd you think?
It's go time.
I think a lot better than the last session we had.
Yeah. Anything that you feel like stuck out when you were playing?
Um, I know I whip a lot of buttons, and you were punishing me with your medium kick, and that's something that I most definitely need to work on as well, because it's like I'm literally putting myself in the open if I'm just throwing buttons out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
make sure
mhm.
your buttons connect a little bit more often.
Right,
Um,
right.
but
Um, I think it's just those two from what I've seen in our first to five. I can't think of anything else, but I know that I did the V-skill dash under your like demon flip into fireball, and I
mhm.
tried to be more aware of how should I put it? Like also using my heavy elbow as well, like when you did a tatsu out of the corner.
Yeah,
Um,
that was really good.
yeah, I always try to like how should I put it? Like I always try to see if my opponent's gonna jump in the air because that's what I'm really looking for mostly. So it's kind of hard to juggle. Like, oh, I know my opponent's not gonna jump out, but I'm still kind of aware that they're going to, possibly do it, or they just gonna, dance in the corner until like I mess up and then they get out of the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what I call that is pretty much switching gears.
Mhm.
So switching gears from anti-air back to footsies, back to walking back and forth, back to reacting. So all those things you're gonna be switching gears constantly, and that happens like
Let's do this.
over the years of you playing fighting games or playing the matchup more and more, your gears will become even more smooth because you're adding more oil to it,
Mhm.
and it's just gonna run like a machine. So you're trying to do, for example, you're trying to do anti-airs, which you know how to do that already, but moving forward or maybe dash command grab, those things aren't there yet. So it's gonna be a little bit harder. It's gonna be a little bit rustier for you.
Sure.
Excuse me. Um, and that takes a lot of time. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
and let me show you some things that will help alleviate that.
Okay.
And you kind of did it in a sense of boxing me out. It's the same thing that we talked about last week. So
Round one.
Okay.
Fight.
I think we mentioned about keeping that space, that distance. And so you were here, and I obviously jumped and did air tatsu, and you responded appropriately. And so these are things that are good for me too because this space right here is perfect for a dash forward back throw. So if you were to just chill there, I can just sneak in back throw.
Sure.
So there's some things for you to alleviate that. So for me and for you as well, if here is a good spot for anti-air like you did, you can also sneak in a little bit just forward and then walk back, so that you're just like in and out, in
Just
and
in
out.
that specific spacing in the corner.
Yeah, you can do it, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it over here.
Mhm.
It works for every facet of footsies because what you're really doing is you're convincing your opponent, oh, he's not ready for anti-air, and then all of a sudden you're back here,
Sure.
and then like you walk in and out. So that's the concept of walking in and out that we talked about last week, but more
Mm.
so in this area.
Right, and
This
the thing
ball.
is that like even if like if you were there and I try to jump over, I feel like I would oh, how should I put it? So like if I'm like over here,
Hmm.
I know that if I try to anti-air, like it's gonna get stuffed and then it's gonna trade and I'm
Yeah.
gonna be put in the corner. So I feel like in this situation it would be better if I could like either just block or
Hmm.
V-skill dash back into the corner, which is kind of like a downside for me, because I just put
Hmm.
myself in the corner. Um,
Hmm.
so like how would I go about that, if they like jump around and I kind of get like,
So
yeah.
so let's let the tongue go down. A little trick that you can do is using proximity guard. And I'll show you this one.
Round two.
Yeah.
So, and this is really huge in footsies. Huge. I don't think I taught you this or talked to you about this
Mhm.
last week. And so pretty much, if you stick out a jab, yeah, you see how my body stays still.
Oh yeah. And like
So the
when I
same
do
thing
like
can happen.
fireball, you would just like kind of like sit there, but you literally have to force
Yeah.
yourself to get out of there. Yeah, right.
So if you're crouching right there, if you're crouch blocking, so and I press a jab, see how like your hitbox gets smaller and bigger. So it's like let go of your character.
Mhm.
So go ahead and crouch block. So you see how like you're moving. So
Mhm.
this is like an old SC trick where it tricks you to stop moving. So if you were to want to walk back, you can't because watch. Go ahead and hold back. See that?
Mhm.
You like stuttered. You see that?
Mhm.
That's a proximity guard. So if I really want to jump at you, I have to make you like slow down or block. And sticking out normals right here is good because guess what? I'm stuck, and it'll activate that. But somebody who knows that will let go of the stick, and you can do the same thing too as well. So for you, letting go of the stick is even better because you can move around. For me, it's a little bit worse because I'm stuck in the corner.
All right, so could you
So
do that again? I kind of understand it, but at the same time, I don't.
oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
So let's move it to the mid screen then before we move to the corner.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in this, so I noticed like a lot of times that you're crouch blocking,
Mhm.
and it's a huge. Oh, whoops.
Over.
Oh, that was okay. You crouch blocking is a huge advantage for me because one, you're still getting kind of stuck in a guarding stance, and that means my low forward will connect at a certain distance even easier. It also makes you getting thrown easier too because you're bigger. So if you know that your opponent's gonna approach you, attack you low or mid or high or jump in or whatever, you can actually let go of your stick very briefly. And then by the time they want to attack you, so for example, I'm gonna walk up and do low forward, and I want you to just block. Okay.
Just block low.
So just go ahead and block that. You see how it's gonna hit you, right?
Mhm.
But what if you let go of the stick as soon as I walked up towards you?
Do it again. Oh.
Oh, yeah, I think you're not back. So let's do it over here. So I'm gonna jump and then do low forward. So
Oops.
a bit further. See how it's missing? It's only hitting because you're crouching. And that's a good time for you to do stand like kick shoulder. Oops. You're too close.
Oops.
So pretty much you kind of get it. So you're pretty much standing up, and so if you're crouching, you see where my knee is.
Mhm.
That's where like my hitbox is. But as soon as I let go of the stick, my hitbox gets smaller.
All right, could you try it again?
Sure. And this is a lot. This is really hard to practice because right there.
Time over.
You saw that? And that was a
Hmm.
perfect opportunity to do stand like kick shoulder. In a lot of instances where Idam plays Laura, I'm sure he lets go of the stick. I hope he does. He does light kick shoulder, and that's where another thing that I wanted to show you about blocking.
Okay.
But that right there is super
Round
huge.
one.
One, to get out of pressure. Two, to really dominate the neutral. I'll use stand heavy punch a little bit easier. That one hits right there. You're too close.
Oh.
Too close. It's right there. It's where it hits right there. And you can literally use this. You don't want to use that because it's not gonna.
Oh, okay.
So you can use like, I don't know, stand meeting kick or something. Yeah,
Oh.
or that.
Well, that didn't combo though.
Yeah, but you get the idea, right?
Still having a hard time understanding this one.
Yeah, so in this game, it's very difficult to challenge like that. So it's very difficult to challenge
Mhm.
heavy attacks versus light attacks because of the parry system. But you still can do it. Obviously, you saw that there. Yeah, see? Sometimes you get pressure.
Oh, I see. I'm supposed to block. Oh.
Yeah, this is super huge. So once you see me do the move, let go of the stick. So as soon as I land, let go of the stick.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
like that, like that. Alright, there. It's two.
Oh, okay.
Because you're blocking, sometimes it will hit.
Oh,
Too early.
oops.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, like that. And it works the same thing with low too as well. So yeah, let me do the move first, and then let go of the stick.
Okay.
Round 2. Fight.
Yeah, like that, like that, like that. You see? And this is constant. This is constant throughout footsies. So when you see me walking in and forward, I'm letting go of the stick sometimes. I'm walking in, I'm blocking, I'm holding forward, crash blocking. So you're constantly letting go. Like it's not always just like holding back or holding forward all the time. It's always
You're just
like,
letting
in
go of
middle.
the stick.
Yeah, because like anytime that you want to move and attack, you look at that. See that? But if you crouch, boom.
Oh.
This is huge. This is really, really important.
Oh.
Yeah, and you see that?
Mm.
So you did something earlier. You did I did medium punch, and then you did that. So that was great. Why? Because this isn't connect, obviously. But if I walk forward and waited, yeah, do this. Yeah, see if I waited for you.
Oh, sure. Okay.
That's where the mind game starts to happen.
Mhm.
And I want you to implement this as well. So we'll hold off on neutral fast, the neutral control, and then work on this one here. Then medium is +3.
Mhm.
Or, sorry, it's +3, and you have 3 from gaps, so you can't really challenge it. So there's a little trick that you can use. So we're gonna block, crash block. So right here, right here. I'm sure you know this. I think you know this. You want to go micro step backwards. So try it. In between the medium punch.
Hold on. Let me give you damage refund.
This is a really, I would say it's a pretty advanced trick.
Okay.
Time over.
And I'll show you what it will
Final
relate
round.
to the neutral thingy.
Fight.
So medium punch. So that was good, but because you're standing, I can catch you with the low. So like this. It's kind of hard to like show you without showing you with that stick, I guess. So pretty much you're doing this like I want you to do like 2 attacks on you. See how those 2 kind of fit? So now I'm gonna show you the micro walk.
Oops.
It's kind of hard to do. There, right there. See? You see how the move is missing? So for my attack, it won't miss because I'm a Kuma, I'm really cheap. But what you can do is you can guard against lows. One of the patterns that you're doing is you're doing medium punch, and then you would stand up and walk back. So go ahead and do that. So go ahead and, so after my medium punch, go ahead and stand up.
Oh.
See that? So this is something that you're having trouble with, especially with the Kuma. And this is for a lot of characters, especially the top tiers. So in order to avoid that, you just during the block stream. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So yeah, this is very hard to do. And this relates to the neutral thing because when you do an attack like this from here, you
Time
can actually
over. You win.
Is there a way to set the timer to like infinite?
What's that?
Is there a way to set the timer to infinite time? Or no?
I don't think.
Oh shoot, okay.
Sorry.
So I need to implement a training mode online.
I know.
Round 1.
Alright, so
Fight.
from here, if you block both times, you will get hit, right?
Mhm.
But if you stand up or let go of the stick, yeah, that will happen. You kind of have to know where the spots are. Akuma's a kind of a hard example because his buttons are so good that they all kind of like
Yeah.
they just linked together. But if you have like I don't know, let's do this for example. Let's do um, this. Oh, that isn't. Um, but anyway, you kind of get the idea. It's two buttons, and if you can find a gap in between, if you know there's a gap in between, you can kind of like walk and block away. And there's two things you can guard the throw, and you can guard the low as well. So there's like a lot of layers of you doing the walk, and crouch. It's part of the neutral, like letting go of the stick as well. Does that kind of make sense? I know it's kind of complicated.
Yeah,
Confusing.
it's so kind of complicated. Like I kind of get the idea, but at the same time, it's really hard for me to like see what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll do like a quick like synopsis. So pretty much you're just walking away from the attack. That's it.
Mm.
You're just walking away. And if they try to threaten a throw after a normal, they can't because you're walking away. And you can actually sneak in a light kick shoulder. So if I wanted to do this and to throw, yeah, like that.
Mhm.
So it's the same thing if I want to do, yeah,
Time
see that?
over.
So you were doing that, but I don't think you were conscious of it. You were just kind of doing it because, you know, you want to stop the pressure. And this goes back to you establishing the walking game. You didn't really let me get a chance to develop the walking game. So what that means is, if I do a medium punch, you don't see me walking. I didn't walk anywhere, right?
Mhm.
So medium punch. If you did a light attack, I would have hit you in the middle of it. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So there's no point of you challenging right there. As soon as you start seeing me walk in, that's when you start getting, okay, this guy's walking into my range. I can start walking back. I can challenge. That's the walking game. That's the close quarter combat sort of meta. And that's in all of Street Fighter 5 because you want to challenge with jabs, you want to challenge with backdashes, you want to challenge with your reversals. But those are the things that you see because you'll typically see medium punch, or medium punch, medium kick, right? It's almost a block character. So in order to alleviate that, you use the walk back technique while blocking, or you use the walk back light kick, or you use your jabs to interrupt. Those are things that you can implement in your game. But first, let them establish that they're gonna walk towards you to try to throw your first before you start challenging. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Because in the beginning you're challenging, but it costs you like a couple knockdowns.
Right.
Like you get cornered, and it's huge, especially for Akuma. If you're playing against Karen, if you're playing against Rashid, it would have been like lights out once you get into the corner.
Mm.
That's why it's really important to let them establish it and read their defense. It's okay to take the throw, but look at their feet, look at where they're moving, and then go ahead and see what you want to do with options on defense, whether it be jab or backdash, or even jump forward.
Time over.
So there's a lot of things that you can really do.
Final round.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Because like anytime I see someone like try to like like how should I put it, like buns and then grab me, like I try to whiff punish that a lot where I'm like, oh, I see this person's trying to grab me, but then sometimes my light kick wouldn't be like it would be too far for me to like punish them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And this is where it gets a little bit more high level. You can actually stick out a medium kick, catch a medium kick if you wanted to, because they're walking in so far away. From here, your light kick isn't effective. So you can actually do crouching medium kick and actually hit me from here. Go ahead and try it. Yeah, see? And it's the same. I mean, you're thinking like, oh, why would I stick out medium kick? It's so slow.
Right.
Why wouldn't you? Because, I mean, if somebody's walking at you, challenge their feet. And
Sure.
guess what? The next time that I attack you, I'm going to be like, oh, she stuck out medium kick. I'm going to block first. And then by the time that I'm blocking, I'm hesitating, it's your turn. So it's all about stealing turns throughout the neutral, and especially during close quarter combats.
Okay.
We'll talk more about that. This is like an ongoing thing that I'll share with you. One thing that I wanted to say was you did good on the EXTP crushes because you did the jumping attack. What I would like to see more is for you to switch sides.
Oh,
if you
sure.
ever
Yeah.
It's huge because you did get the damage, but you didn't obtain the corner because, like if it's like mid screen, and I do the EXTP, of course the neutral jump is good there. You don't really need to side switch. It doesn't really matter, right?
Right.
But if it's all the way in the corner and you're cornered, it's highly advisable for you to switch sides.
Yeah, it's like in that situation where it's like, oh, he did DP. I know how to do my crush counter combo. It's just that
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I guess it's kind of like the heat of the moment too, where it's like, oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he messed up. I am gonna do this, and then don't
No,
and like
trust me.
yeah.
Trust me, it's very understandable. Akuma has a side switch combo that I always forget about too, but it's just like in the heated moment,
Round
you
one.
just kind of forget sometimes. Um,
Fight.
but ideally, if you look at the life and you can kill, go for the jumping combo. But if you can't, it's totally up to you how you want to play it. You can take the corner and go for the kill in the corner, or you can go for the kill in the mid screen. Because you still get, I think you still get the same Oki, right?
Right, like
Like
I know one of the situations where I was one hit away from getting V trigger. I know I did the jumping combo, and in my head I was like, I should have done the crush counter combo so I could get my
yeah,
V trigger. That's one of the
yeah.
things that sometimes I get. How should I put it? Like I just kind of forget because I'm
That's okay.
not as like I'm not looking at my meter as much, but I thought like that time it was like really rare of me. I was like, wait, why didn't I go for crush counter to get V trigger?
Oh no, it's okay. Those are like situational awareness things that are gonna come over time. As you can see, a lot of these things that I'm saying to you is it's gonna come over time or it's gonna take some time. It
Yeah.
really is because, I mean, how long have you been playing fighting games?
Since the end of Street Fighter 4.
Okay, so 5 years,
I think
5 years.
like since
Yeah, yeah. See,
2014.
yeah, that's and then like that alone. How many? When did you start going to tournaments? Like maybe the beginning of Street Fighter 5.
I guess you could say that, yeah. Because
Yeah,
I was like, I started competing at my locals and built it up from there.
yeah. So and like those things that you're not have to keep doing those and going to locals and putting yourself in situations where it's like super critical. You have to pay attention to everything.
Hmm.
Those are the things that like I really enjoy a
Time
lot.
over.
When you're like learning how to get better and learning how
Round
to
two.
work on small
Fight.
little details, just filling in the holes. And I feel like
Right.
you don't have that many holes compared to a lot of players that I work with, but you have some very particular things that you should work on, but they're easily attainable.
Sure.
I wouldn't say easily attainable, but like it's very obvious what it is. Like, oh, I need to work on my side switch combos, or I need to work on my awareness.
I
I need to
know
work
I
on my
need to learn how to block low as well because I am
yeah.
really bad at keeping my feet protected, I guess.
Yeah, and the little trick that I showed you is huge on that because all you have to do is just wiggle back a little bit and then go
Hmm.
back down. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And because it guards you from a lot of things, and I'll show you why. So check this out. See that?
Hmm. Oh
That's
yeah, I see
perfect,
it.
right? And guess what? He's gonna be so annoyed. He's gonna have to walk in and throw you because you keep walking back. And by the time you can jump
Oh.
back,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's really annoying to deal with as an Akuma player because I can't hit you low.
Oops.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pin you down with jabs. You see that?
Hmm.
So I'm pinning you down in different ways so that you have to stop moving so that you're still in my face. And even then, I still can get close to you.
Hmm.
And it works for Karen, it works for Rashid, it works for any character. Fang, it don't matter what character it is. That little walk back block is huge in this game. It's really
Hmm.
really huge. Um, let's see. There was another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, uh, I think we did that.
Time
Recognizing opponent's
over.
push. Okay, yeah, we did that.
Final
I think
round.
that was pretty much it in terms of what I saw in the game.
Hmm.
Um, did you feel like or see anything that you felt okay that wasn't right or that didn't really work out for me? Did you feel like you were making mistakes constantly in certain areas, like for yourself?
I know that I always try to do max damage combos as much as possible. Like I know I always use fierce a crap ton, and I know that I'm supposed to do medium punch more than fierce because I can get like my fierce stuffed,
Mm-hmm.
or that like it's just really risky because if I just throw it out of here, you can whiff punish me easily, or if I do this
Oh,
or
I see.
whatnot. Yeah.
I see. I see. So it's not a bad thing that you're using your fierce. It's more of like a bad thing if you're not developing your other buttons. Your fierce is great. Don't like discredit your fierce. It's a great tool. It's a great button. Lower players love that button. But definitely explore your other buttons. But don't hold back on the fierce. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It's like saying me like it's like me saying like this fierce is really good, but I should stop using it. Um, just implement the other buttons more. Now, if you want to focus on the other buttons, that's when you start isolating it. Kind of like when you go into the gym and work on the small muscles. So you're like your light kick or your medium punch. Hold back on the fierces and just work on just the medium punch and the light kicks only. So when you go
Mm.
into ranked matches, don't even use your fierce button. Just like you can even turn it off if you want to.
Right. So it's
Yeah,
like if I know that they're gonna backdash, of course I would like use Fierce, especially like Colleen players. They like to backdash a lot.
mm-hmm.
Um, so I know that using Fierce, and sometimes I even use Fierce to bait a DP,
Oh,
because I know
I
that
see. I see.
like against Rashid, if you do Fierce into EX Fireball, he can DP you. Including I guess like any character that has a EX DP.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just like go through that and be like, oh, I should have just like did Fierce and then bait out their DP, you know?
Are you talking about on defense
Yeah, on
or your
defense. So
offense?
like, if you were to block this and you did
Uh huh.
EXTP after like I did EX Fireball, I
Uh huh.
would get hit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So the fierce is -2 on block, correct?
I think so. Try blocking it.
I think it's -2 on block. It should be -3. Um, but so let me show you this real fast.
Yeah.
So go ahead and block this. So this is in itself a fake attack, right? So yours is the same thing as well. You can do a late cancel fireball. You can do a late cancel backdash. Like you can do a lot of things. You can even just let it rock, just stand fierce.
Right.
And that's where the mind game, like I see Adam do that a lot, but he has to space it out a little bit more because like he'll do like short jab, fierce, um, yeah, like that. Because
Mhm.
guess what happens after that? So short jab.
Crush counter.
Oh no, so
Oh.
go ahead and do short jab first. So
Oh.
see that? So yeah, he also likes to use crafting fierce. So those are two things that you want to work on.
Oops.
Yeah, you can use that as well. It's realizing the different fierces that you can use during block strings, and also making them think about what you're gonna do, and after and before that. So it's all about just conditioning, and then going for that throw. And a lot of times, I think I see you do. You do mix in the attacks, but I think you're very adept at using your crashing light kick and your crashing light punch and mixing those two. When it
Mhm.
comes to mediums and heavies, I would say not so much, but definitely you're really good at mixing the shorts and the lights. So something that I noticed myself. So like I said, just change it. All it is just changing the timing.
Mhm.
And this is a game cat. What if I just did this? Oops.
Oh.
That, well, that's kind of. So like for you, for example, if you do your fierce and then like waited, yeah, see,
Yeah.
and if you start seeing me wait and hesitate, then that's when you can start sticking in another button by doing stand jab, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you really add onto. Even though you're -2, you're still adding on to the mix up and the layers. I mean, if you're really bossy, you can even do EX shoulder if you
Oh.
want to.
Right. Sure.
But there's don't like assume I'm minus or this is what's gonna happen. You know the scenario, but I'll also take it in with you as an offensive tool.
Mhm.
I know this is -2, but I'm still gonna use it, and I'm still gonna try to trick you into thinking, oh, this is a safe option, or this is your tool.
Right. Yeah, Laura also has that as well, like her fierce, forward
Oh yeah,
fierce
I've done that.
into fireball. Yeah, but I see a lot of people they know that activation. They just be reversal at all times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's still great to use.
Mhm.
It's generally okay, but yeah, it's great to use. I think those are the things that we talked about there, and let's see. Oh, you want to address the panic V triggers. I didn't really see any panic V triggers with you. I think you activated V triggers pretty appropriately. There wasn't a sense where you were like struggling or like swinging for the fences to try to activate.
Mhm.
So I think we can scratch that out. But
Okay.
even if do you still feel like you still do that?
Most definitely. I know that
Okay.
even in V trigger mode, like I would kind of give myself some space and of course charge full screen fireball. Do you think that's like the appropriate thing to do just to give myself some like leg room, or what's the best option for me to do in that situation?
So it depends on your situation. If you're down some meter, it's okay to build some meter there. Um, depends if you're in the corner. Let's I guess let's talk about the mid screen. You're talking about mid screen for now. Um, if you're if you have the life lead, you don't really need to do much. You can just slowly inch forward and build meter, or move your wall forward. If you don't have life lead, it's typically the same thing because the game plan is still the same, and I'll tell you why. Your V trigger doesn't change. It's still 3 bars. Your meter can always go up. The time will go down, but your health, you have to think of it as it's infinite because there's no chip damage unless they have super.
Right.
So if you think about that, you're literally a walking like time bomb. Like you control when it goes off, not them. So if you think about that, and in that way, you have infinite life. You're just like you're fearless. And when you're activating, make it count. If you just, activating is perfectly fine, and building meter is perfectly fine, but you don't like it. It's what is it like? I don't know. It's a lot of time for it to last, but you have a lot of time to get one hit. You don't need all the hits. You don't need 2 mix-ups. You just need one hit, right? And even if you don't get that hit, at least you work them towards the corner. You see what I'm saying? So and it's the same thing for me too. If I have feature here. Oh wait, couldn't beat me.
Yeah.
Oh. But it's the same thing for me. I can't just throw air fireballs. I can't just throw ground fireballs. It's just gonna be wasteful.
Like if I'm like
It's
this
more-
far and I'm just charging fireball,
Yeah, that's okay.
that's
So
okay. Okay.
Yeah, let me beat you up real fast.
Okay. Oh.
So when you activate, this is you can like dash forward, back forward, in and out. So go ahead and use your reskill. Yeah, like that. And it's very hard to click, but you're still slowly inching them back. Is that what you're talking about? What do I do about that?
Yeah, cause it's
Oh,
like
okay.
like anytime like I charge fireball, there are some people that are like, oh, why do you do that? You're just depleting your V trigger meter, and it's like, well, I need some leg room, you know?
No, that's perfectly fine. What they're telling you is what they're thinking is the immediate reaction. You have V trigger, you need to go in. That is very, very incorrect. It obviously depends, but for a long-term strategy, use it the way you feel is most appropriate. And right now, if you're saying, do I use it right here? That's totally fine. Do I use it right there? That's totally fine. Gauge what to do throughout. Like this is your character. This is you. This is your control. See the situations through and see what happens. And then that's when you start understanding. Oh, okay. Because somebody who doesn't play lore or somebody who plays lore differently from you, they're gonna tell you different things. I can tell you different things, but I want you to explore what you feel is most optimal, and that's gonna come like playing over and over. But ideally, your strategy is perfectly fine. Like you throwing fireballs and dashing in and out, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't. It doesn't hurt anything. Your timer might go down, but you're still gaining space. And what's important is that you don't need to rush and get a hit. You don't need to do that. What you need to do is put the fear that they will get hit. And
Yeah.
when they do, it will count. It will be way worth it. And like, so let me beat you up again.
Okay.
I really wish it was training mode.
I know. I really wish we had training mode. Okay.
Okay.
So of course.
If you activate,
Oops.
and I'm here, I'm like, I have to be very careful. I have to react to a fireball.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready. I don't want to get hit. And as you're walking forward, you're still conserving your meter. You see how, if you think about it, you're using that time on the V-trigger to gain space. And that's really good too. And you don't need to do anything. Look at that. And I'm like, oh shoot, it's still there. I can still get hit once. And
Yep.
lose.
Yep.
It's still there. Even if it was at 1/8, it's still there. It still exists.
Right. It's a very long V trigger if you don't cancel into anything.
Yeah, exactly. And it's okay to cancel if you want to, but it's totally like see it through and see what happens.
Right.
And you'll make the adjustments throughout the whole video.
Right,
don't
because
remember that.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh, because like I know like right here, like you can't charge a fireball here because they could just dash up and do a little forward. But like if it's like
yeah,
literally full screen, that's fine. But just
yeah,
right here, that's in the danger zone.
yeah, and definitely use the bob in and out like method because
Time
the
over.
trick with that is you can dash in front of it and
You
threaten like an
lose.
attack, or you can dash behind it, or you can walk behind it. There's so many things with that like V skill that I think is really cool. Is that you can just like really trick them into like feeling like they have to be do something or jump or
Right, like
throw a
they have to
fireball.
do something or else they're gonna die or whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty much your like your assist. Like you throw it out and like you dash in and out, dash in and out,
Round
and
one.
yeah, it's not nothing's
Fight.
gonna happen unless they let it happen. So
Mhm.
oh, um, I don't think I saw this much, but your medium punch and your medium kicks, they were the usage was I think okay,
Mhm.
but I think when I watch Adam play, he really utilizes that. The same method would the same way he would use short jab like
Also
medium
like,
kick and medium.
oops. So like this.
Oops. Not so much that. It's more of
Oh.
like during the neutral. So you're very good at using the heavy punch, the light kicks, dashing forward, um, but you don't really use your beating kick and your standing and punches or your touching kick too much. Yeah, that's great
Mm.
because I think if you get a counter hit, you get a combo. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's plus, right? Yeah, like
Mhm.
those. So that hitbox, that standing beating kick, is it 7 frames now? I think, or is it
I'm not entirely sure. I'm the wrong person to ask about frame data.
I think they nerfed it, but I think it's a little bit slower.
Yeah, I
It's
know
just
they nerfed the medium punch because I know
yeah,
it's like negative something. Because I know you can jab that, or no, I think
yeah.
like I know you can jab this, following it with this.
Oh, I see that. Okay,
Yeah, you
I see.
can punish that.
I see. But the idea behind it is you're using this to try to get a counter hit combo.
Mhm.
It's the same thing as if you were to use the forward heavy punch. It's the same thing as using the snap pierce or even using the
Mm.
crash mini kick. So it's like you're sticking out a normal because one, it adds another layer to them walking
Time
back
over.
because if I can't walk back, that's good for you. And I'll show you why.
Round two.
I'm gonna walk away from the crashing medium kick a lot because that's where I feel like you're gonna threaten. But if you stick out the medium, see that
Mhm.
after guard low, and then you do that, it's like, oh, that's pretty nice.
I
It
know
hits.
that I use this button a lot just because I have V trigger available, but I know I don't use it as much in neutral or like as if I'm
Yes.
starting out the round.
Yes, I definitely noticed that.
Mhm.
And I think that's just because you feel, oh, that button's more for V trigger. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
and when you start thinking outside the box for those normals, you'll start utilizing it more in different situations. So right here, it's great too because if you get a hit, it's good. But even if you don't get a hit, you can even dash forward, command grab. There's like little things that you can do to really add layers to like the gameplay. Um,
Mhm.
and I know you mentioned like, oh, I'm always using crush and medium kick and I dash forward and command grab or something like that, or do the V skill. Um, definitely like I wouldn't say steer away from the crush and medium kick, but like utilize everything else. Like experiment. Do jab, jab, dash forward. Do stand medium kick. Like there's so many things that Laura can do, and that's why I really enjoy the character and I really watch. I really like watching Laura players play. Is because how can they get that +1 or +2 situation?
Mhm.
That means how can they get the command grab and then or how can they get that regular throw? There's so many things that you can do to try to get the damage. Because
Sure.
it's like a slow or fast in a sense, slow or fast paced methodology. Um, Another thing is using your regular throw. I know you tend to do
Time
block strings,
over.
block strings, block strings,
Mhm.
and then command grab. But
You
a
win.
really cool thing to do, and I noticed this watching Iron play, is going for the throw because the shoulder after a hit is +2. They can't do anything besides attack. Um, but that's where you want to sort of establish a throw game.
Mhm.
I feel like you don't
Round
establish a
one.
throw game as much,
Fight.
which is okay because you're really well adept at establishing a low game or like if you jump out I'm gonna attack you or if you backdash I'm gonna attack you, but you don't establish the throw game. Um, am I correct in that sense?
Like that?
Yeah, well, like when you do the elbow on hit.
Oh, so like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because also if you get a back throw, it's a free throw loop.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Oop.
you get like free pressure. And Adam's really good at that. Oh, I need to take that out, right? Yeah, you have to do it like certain
Mm.
position. But yeah, like, and the reason why is because I mean, look at the damage. You did like what 4 throws. The damage is still very decent compared to a command grab,
Mm.
but it's like it's there. It's 5 frames. It's there. It's a +2 situation with the elbow. Um, there's just so many things that you can do after a throw. Even if they jump up, they jump away. You're a lot more safer in a sense. So establish the throw
Hmm.
game first before you start establishing the command grab command grab
Hmm.
situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because if they neutral jump and I can just anti-air, or if they like jump back, I can react and do EX elbow. In
Yeah.
a way, sure.
And I didn't really see that much with you. You definitely went for the big payoffs, which is good. Like you're like, oh, he's gonna hold up. I'm gonna go for this.
Hmm.
But it adds a huge layer. Even though it's so basic, it adds a huge layer
Time
to it.
over.
And it gives you consistent damage too. Because guess what? Are they gonna take a throw or 50% throw?
Round
They're
two.
probably gonna take a throw.
Hmm.
And then
Fight.
once you start attacking it, that's when you start blowing them up completely. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's pretty much it on my side.
Yeah, we
Because
kind of went overtime here, but
oh no,
no,
it's
like
okay.
that's great
I
though. That's
figured it
great.
was. What's that?
That's great though, because I'm learning a lot more and figure out like, oh, I didn't know that you can do this in the game. Isn't that cheating? But no, it's not.
No, it's perfectly fine. And I went a little bit over because the startup was a little bit slower this time.
Yeah, no problem.
Um, so let's go ahead and review what we talked about.
Okay.
We talked about you doing the side switches or going for the crush counter. You can kind of figure out which what you want to do in those situations depending on what you want to do. Go for the kill, go for the retrigger gain, or go for the side switch. We talked about recognizing the like establishing the walk forward game. So if your opponent is walking forward, and that works for you too as well, you should establish your own walk forward game on your offense, and recognizing when to like walk back and crouch block, letting go of the stick during neutral, and that's something that I think you would really enjoy in Street Fighter.
Hmm.
I highly encourage it because that's when you start seeing real like footsies. You let go of the stick, and you're like, wow, this guy is just swinging at me, and he's gonna miss right here, and then you just punish him. It's a really good feeling.
For
Um,
sure. Hmm.
and you talked about your V trigger usage. Steady is fine. Uh, you'll explore more options in that. And yeah, working on your mediums and your counter hit
Time
combos through neutral
over.
instead of just relying using the medium kicks
You
and medium
win.
punches with V trigger. So yeah, there's I feel like I think you're filling in the little tiny holes that you've had in your game. I know it's been a hectic 1 or 2 weeks for you, right?
Um, yeah, I guess kind of. Yeah,
You've been like streaming constantly, and you're learning as well, and I'm pretty sure you have a work and job to deal with. Um,
like I know for sure streaming Street Fighter 5, it kind of
mhm.
um how should I put it? Like my bad habits come out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why like I most definitely want to play offline because I know it'll help me a
Mhm.
lot more because offline's a lot
Yeah.
better than online to be honest.
No, that's fine. I will encourage you to take something that we've talked about or that you want to work on, and take it online and
Hmm.
see how it works. Obviously, it's going to be a little different, but you'll get a variety of players and how they'll react to it. So I know you mentioned like, oh, I tried to play a little bit slower or right in front of them and I couldn't handle it. That's good.
Hmm.
That's actually really good because you're getting pretty much if you're uncomfortable, that's good. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
You always want to be uncomfortable when you're playing to learn because you're definitely working on something. If you're comfortable and you're just like just killing people, you're not learning.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely take what we talked about and see it through. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Most definitely. Well, thank you so much, Mikey. I really do appreciate the help and learning all the like the really cool small things in the game, like that proxy block and whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
I don't have any questions. Do you have anything else that you like to add?
No, I'll see you next week, and definitely shoot me a message if you need anything else. Yeah,
Cool, cool. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
no worries. Bye bye.
All right, have a good night.